Okay, who are you?
I am Darryl B Payne, head coach of the Blue Water Derby Girls, and also the head coach of the Darlings of Destruction Junior League.
Which team do you prefer coaching?
I'm at the adult tournament right now, so I'll say this is the fun that Derby is all about. We've got 17 from around the Midwest here today, but I'm planning a similar tournament for our juniors in November, so it might swing the scales back over to what I like to do more. I really love coaching the kids. Honestly, I can't say I've ever had more fun in my life than coaching both of these teams. Obviously, the ladies play at a high level, but the kids, to see them going out there and pulling together, there's nothing like it. It's the best thing in the world.
All right, well, that was a sappy, crappy political answer. So, now coaching, is that all you do in Derby?
I'm heavily involved in the administrative aspects of running both leagues. My wife and I actually own the junior league, as there's no requirements like with WIFTA. You have to be a woman-owned organization. With juniors, anybody can own it. And by the way, just a little secret here, not everybody knows this, but if this tells you where my heart lies.
Okay then.
So, who do I like coaching? I'll let the tattoo explain that answer for you.
I would like to take a moment to apologize to all of my viewers for having to see that.
Pasty white leg, I apologize. It's 40% German and 60% Irish. I can't help it.
And 100% albino.
Very much so.
So, all right, so what do you do outside of Derby?
I'm an industrial hygienist and primarily an environmental scientist.
Okay, so that means what?
I do air, soil, groundwater testing on some facilities and in some properties for property transaction. If a bank wants to give you a loan, they want to make sure that you're not buying an environmental nightmare. So my company does things known as phase 1s and phase 2s. I also do a lot of lead and asbestos abatement project oversight.
All right, that's enough. This is boring.
I was a tennis professional for 21 years before my wife and daughter, Darryl Quinn, daughter, wife, Anaphylaxis, who's announcing with you tonight, so I think you know who she is.
All too well.
Oh. Yes, before they got me involved in the sport, I was teaching tennis 10 to 15 hours a week on top of my day job.
Wait, we're a tennis pro?
Yep. Rumor has it I was better at tennis than I am at roller derby, and I'd like to think I'm better than average at this.
Okay. So, what's the worst injury you've seen happen in roller derby?
Actually, I was at a Kalamazoo bout last year where Malfi Mayhem had a horrific tibia and fibula break on a real fluke. A girl gave her a hit. She was kind of recentering her center of gravity. Looked like she caught the edge of a wheel, and it just flopped. It was like a duck flopping out there. One of the most painful things I've ever had to sit through. You know, my wife and my daughter, we were doing NSO duties for Kalamazoo that day. We're good friends with the Derby Darlings. Hey, Derby Darlings. Next year, we got to get you guys in this tournament. At least kill a crew. But back to the injury, I've had a couple of my girls break tibs and fibs, including Dixie Destroyer, who's one of our better blockers, and that's her walking away to eat a sandwich right now. Also, Robbie Socket was our first significant injury. She broke her tib and her fib, ended up with 16 screws and 2 plates, and Dixie had, how many screws, Dixie? 10 screws? 10? In your leg? 10 screws? 10 screws, 2 plates, tib and fib.
And no, that's not a good night to make a dirty movie. That's no. 10 different kind of 10 screws.
Well, we joked with Dixie. Actually, I literally, we were at a boot camp with our friends, the Traverse City Toxic Cherries up in Traverse City, and she drove up by herself to come up for a boot camp one weekend with us. And my wife and I took her to the hospital after she broke it. Literally, it was like the second to last jam of a scrimmage session. And I was holding her hand, and when the orderly came in to assess her injury and start taking her sock off, she squeezed my hand harder when she saw him pull his scissors out than she did when they actually pulled the sock intact off of her broken leg. That's a Derby girl right there for you. Her exact words were, she kind of more sneered at me, "Don't let him cut my socks." They were brand new socks.
Oh, all right. I figured it was because they were smelly, as I know some roller derby girls as well.
No.
So
they were brand new. She didn't want them to get cut.
Derby girls. So, all right. So your daughter plays in the juniors.
Yep.
For how much longer?
Gnarly Quinn turns 16 in the end of July, so she's got exactly 25 months to keep tearing up the junior ranks before she goes to the bigs.
And when she gets to the bigs, is she gonna be ready right away for Blue Water main roster?
I'm hoping that Blue Water is viable enough that, because we actually live closer to Detroit than we do to Blue Water, that when we get to that point, I'd hate to have to coach against her, but I will tell my girls to take her out if they have to. Because I have a feeling that all the juniors that we work with, I've got some girls that are 9 years old right now that are running splits on their 5-lap time and their 5 minutes time, almost as good as some of my adults. We're going to be turning out some really good juniors, and I can't wait to sit back and see how their careers develop as they get older. I really am looking forward to it.
Anything else you want to say to your fans, Blue Water and all over Michigan?
Yes, and I like how you isolated that to Michigan. I apparently am one of the least popular coaches outside of the state of Michigan right now. Something about Ohio where 6 inches equals a foot in their opinion, and therefore out of play is 15 to 12 feet as opposed to 20 here in Michigan. But that's okay. I keep mailing all of the head refs from other leagues their own personal 20-foot marker that they can put in their glasses. It's kind of like one of those rangefinders so they can tell the distance. I think it's just helping them out. I don't seem to be very well appreciated in the state of Ohio, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, so anyways, back to your fans.
To my fans, anybody that comes out to watch roller derby, you got to understand there's two things. These ladies all put in anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a week. Blood, sweat, tears. It sounds cliche. I've seen it all. I've carried 5 skaters from 3 different leagues off the track when they've been injured, and every one of them has come back to the sport. That speaks volumes about the sisterhood, the empowerment, and how much they love the sport. And if it makes my wife and my daughter happy, I'm happy to be here doing it for them.
We're glad to have you too. Thanks so much, Coach Darryl B Payne.
Thanks, Ash. See you at the after party. Peace.